Hello, my beauties. I'm just noticing I do look darker. I've been out in the sun getting my vitamin D. I feel fantastic actually. So it's been a good thing. It's been a good thing for me. Let me see. I think I need to raise up my hello, those who are from the future who are not live. Welcome. Get a cup of tea. I will probably do some card draws, but I am going to talk about adding this to your morning routine, a good way to start your morning. Um, 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 um. How are you? Gonna put you guys a little bit higher. There we go. Yeah, how are you doing? It's my Saturday live, and I was just doing my lip gloss, and so now I have like trying to get extra lip gloss off. So yeah, I've been out in the sun and hold on. Yeah, trying to balance. It's dyslexia. Do you like my new top? I just, so it has a little lace there, and then it's just yellow and green. And if you're watching this and you're not, some people who are here, you missed Awaken the Divine Feminine. Let me know if you had not heard or you meant to enroll. I am actually really on a nice high because we met this morning for our first class and it is recorded. So that is available. So if you still want to join Awaken the Divine Feminine, which is my sort of intro to shamanism and intro to um, connecting with spirit, then reach out to me like right away and you could watch the first session and catch up. Yes. Hey, Julie. Yeah, it's nice to see you. Nice to see you. All right. And let me adjust. Okay, wait. I'm going. Is that too far? Okay, no, let me come back. So, and Percival is here. Hey, Percy, do you want to say hi? Percival. He's busy cleaning himself. But wow, I did get quite a bit darker. And yes, why is my hair? I have to talk about this again. So skip ahead if you can't take it. I have good news. I'm going to hold it really far. This is from my consulate, okay, the Jamaican consulate, and then I have to fold it over so you don't see like personal information. I was so excited. I think I mentioned in a previous video, but I thought it was the new passport so I can travel. And instead, they were returning my old passport, which was great. They had stamped it, defunct. And it says, please be advised that your passport application has been reviewed and approved for further processing. Okay. Please note that the passport application processing time is approximately, are you ready? Guess in the chat, guess in the comments. Don't go further till you guess. I think 6 to 8, 4 to 6 weeks, right? No, for Jamaica, 10 to 14 weeks. 10 to 14 weeks. Can you see that? 10 to 14 weeks from the consulate. So, all right. And that's why my hair is jet black, because the problem was they're like, yeah, your gray hair blends in with the white background, which it didn't. You could tell it was hair, right? And they're like, yeah, why don't you get it redone with a blue background? I'm walking all around my town and calling. They're like, you may have to just pay a professional photographer. I'm like, are you serious? This isn't Jamaica. Professional photographers here do weddings. They do proms. They do brand photography. They don't do passport photos. Okay. I was like, seriously? So finally I was like, wait, I should just change my hair color. So that's why my hair is jet black. And I actually don't like it so dark. I feel like I look like a monster, but except, in black. Or like the Addams Family. Anybody know what I'm talking about? If you're watching in the replay, put in the chat, you know what I'm talking about. Right? They had that jet black hair, Morticia. I don't know. And I always would mix up the Munsters and the Addams Family because to me they were like pretty similar. skin tone. So 10 to 14 weeks, my passport, so I can hopefully go to Italy, will come. All right. So the letter came. I was ecstatic till I read that. So how are you? If you're just joining, longtime people, you needed an update and as to why I suddenly dyed my hair. So already the gray is coming back and it's softer, because no matter what your skin tone, when you get older, you get like lighter, or like it just doesn't look natural. If your hair is like jet black, typically, right? Because our skin tone, or like the undertone, changes. So what I want, I definitely didn't like all the gray I had, but I want some gray. So let me know if any of you, how are you goddesses dealing with any gray coming in? Yeah. So say hi in the chat, say hi. And I want to talk about how to start your morning the right way. And that's really what the theme is. And I'm also going to pull some cards. Okay. Oh my God. All right. Let's get the cards over here. So basically, I just really have been experimenting with my morning routine. That's really big on YouTube. I made one video about the morning routine. First of all, my tips are, it's very individual. It's very individual. It depends the kind of work you do. It depends on your age. It depends on your health. It depends, are you single with no kids? Do you have kids that are out of the house, or do you have kids in your home, right? So these morning routines, people watch them and I'm like, really? You can learn from somebody's morning routine, but it's really individual. Hi, Ola. Yes, and Ola, yes to you. Black, flourishing, and free. I love it. I love it. I love the big smile. So I made the morning routine video because I thought I should. I think it's an individual thing. I would consult with you. Like if you want, sorry guys, there's like food stains on my computer. If you want a good morning routine, I can help with that, depending, again, your health condition, your age, all of that. It's specific. So if you have a YouTube channel and you want to shout out, just do leave a comment and I'll put you up if you're live. So the one thing I wanted to share in this video, right, and I titled it Start Your Morning This Way, is to start with some positive, or one positive video. So what I suggest is, and sorry guys, I'm drinking tea, so now I'm feeling hot because I'm also have a really bright light on me. So let me take off. I'm always wearing socks. I'm one of those people who I really like my feet warm, except if it's like 100 degrees. Okay, so find a video that you like that is positive. This has made a huge difference for me. You know, I know this, but the thing with the morning routines, what it's really about is setting up the day. So if you set up the day where your thoughts are positive, then you're good. So what I'm recommending, that's what I recommend, but how to do that. I'm just going to throw out a few names. I particularly like Bob Proctor. He's really old. He's an old dude. He died, but he was really, really, I mean, an expert at law of attraction, positive thinking, new thought. I've been mentioning Reverend Ike lately. That's for those of you who are of a certain generation. There's a channel started now. I love Reverend Ike because he's very, just brings me back to my childhood. He was like in the 70s and he was like a city preacher. And he was literally the only Black preacher talking about, like, you know, you can have abundance and like how to work with your mind. Right. And so a lot of people didn't like him, I think, back in the day, but he was hugely popular. But many people, there are many people, anybody that you find positive that you relate to. I like Marissa Peer also. Anybody, you know, it could be Oprah, anybody who speaks positively, that has uplifting. That's how I'm starting my morning, and it's making a huge difference. Because let's be honest, we've got a former president now who's convicted, or yes, or yeah, I guess that's convicted. I'm sorry, I'm not really up on the prison system. I'm not. And I'm pretty proud about that, but was found guilty. And I do worry about that because I think that everybody should be held responsible for what they have done. And I think it is amazing that, in this case, the former president has been able to do so many things that I can't imagine anybody else would get away with. But I do think it sets a dangerous precedent, which I notice he's leading into, meaning now our country is entering a stage, and I'm just putting it out to you guys. I know I'm not a political channel, but I think this is really important. Get your passports. Um, we're in a stage now where, because if it happens to one president, you know what's going to happen. It's going to become like tit for tat, right? Oh, you did it to our president. So your president, he bought a car, I don't know, and he used money from his campaign. Like, it's going to go back and forth. And that is the danger that I see, just as a woman of a certain age, a wise woman, intuitively. The fact, yeah, it just puts us, we're in a dangerous time for the stability of our country, is all I'm saying. What do you guys think about that? So on that note, that's why we need a good morning routine, because because we have to kind of, and many people would be upset with me. People who are like rabidly, like, I'm going to say it, rabidly angry would be like, okay, you're spiritually bypassing. No, what I'm saying to you, goddess, is you need to still live your life, right? So you almost have to put blinders on, like they put on a horse, right? So the horse doesn't see all the crazy, you know what, going on, and it can just focus, right? So that's really what I'm saying. So get a morning routine that allows you to push the craziness back, push it back and out of your reality. You know what's going on. You're not bypassing, you know the blank that's going on, but you still need to live your life, goddesses. And you need, what I think our spiritual response is that we have to more emanate peace, power. I think we need to prosper, because I think spiritual people, especially spiritual women, need to step into abundance more. I think the patterning of money being bad and wrong, and you'll get your, you'll be fine in heaven and it's okay, just stay dirt poor. I think a lot of that is programming. Let me know how you feel. Please share in the live chat here in the comments, please. I want to know what you think, and if you're watching in the replay. So I'm riffing on a lot of things, but this is important, okay? I have been, in this country for decades, and I have never seen our political situation and our relationships between groups quite as bad. Now, I didn't live through the 60s in America. Any of you who did, maybe you can share. I'm sure it might have felt almost as tumultuous. Of course, we had Watergate, but now when I look at Watergate, I'm like, that was nothing compared to the different accusations, the things that we've seen happen. Is it January 6th, the storming of, like, I mean, I was stunned. Maybe you weren't stunned. And also the increasing, and continuing, I should say, just continuing violence against Black and brown people, especially, and also if you're poor of any color, you're pretty much, and so the unrest and the protests, and it's just a tumultuous time. It feels to me, the closest I can remember that I know about American history is, it feels like the 60s. But again, I think even in the 60s, the government felt more stable. So how are you guys doing? Let me know. How are you feeling with this? Are you just ignoring it? Are you surprised that Donald Trump was found guilty? I mean, there are multiple cases against him. Again, as a woman of a certain age, I remember when the slightest thing would have pulled somebody out of a presidential running. The slightest thing. I still say this and people don't even remember. There was a candidate. He was kind of a handsome guy. He had like thick hair. He got a haircut. It was $400. That came out in the news and he was discredited, because what kind of like blankety blank privileged guy pays $400 for a haircut? He was out of the running for president based on that. There have been people like Mitt Romney, always a Mormon. Okay, he can't run. Or someone's, different like things, relatively small things would take people out. So clearly to me, there are people, it's not just a populist support of Donald Trump in this case, but there are also really powerful people that have kept this going, I believe. It's always the people who are most powerful are the ones you don't see. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. I am convinced, and I'm not the only one saying this, but I think the people who are most powerful, you don't actually see them. You don't know them. You don't know their names. There are people in front of them so that they're protected and anonymous. So I'm going to look at some of your comments now. And this does tie into the morning routine because we have to keep ourselves sane and healthy. And again, if you're a spiritual woman, if you're a sensitive woman, you can't help but have this affect you. If you're watching this and you feel unaffected, then that tells me either you're completely unaware of what's going on for you, or you're truly not particularly sensitive. And then I don't think my channel is for you. I'm talking to people who are aware of the craziness of the times we're in and the need for self-care and balance and action. I'm going to put, if you're not, then you're not right for my channel, and then just move it along. If you can't not just see it, I mean, we can all like see, yeah, it's kind of crazy, but if you can get a sense that, and not just write it off like, oh, we're in end times, because it's not just Christianity that talks about that. For instance, Hinduism also says we're in a terrible time. It's forecasted to last thousands of years. And I've said this before, but you guys need to know this because you may not know this. People who are maybe very hardcore Christians think, oh, well, it's just that this predicts it. No. In Hinduism, it's said there are cycles. And so there are cycles where there's like a degeneration. Okay. And the things they say literally are what are happening as well. Disregard for parents, breakup of family relationships. Okay. Lack of respect for elders. Okay. Disintegration of religious practices, increased violence, increased lack of dharma, lack of proper behavior. Okay, so this is happening, and we need to build our lives in such a way. And I want to address the spiritual bypassing. I think that there are people who, this may not be all of them. You are not spiritually bypassing. Okay, if you choose to focus on taking care of yourself, because who can you help if you're raggedy, you lack funds, you're emotionally depleted, or you're ill? Okay, so these people who try to come for you, or you see in social or whatever, talking about spiritual bypassing, some people are, but especially if you are from a community where you've already had a lot of trauma in your life, I'm personally saying to you, do not feel like you have to be out at every protest, or you have to be doing some grandiose thing. Maybe your healing for the planet right now is keeping yourself balanced, keeping your children balanced, taking care of your parents lovingly, taking care of family that needs you. Okay, all right, let me know what you think about this, because I mean, you're probably doing it, but I'm really just saying to you, be aware of how much you're having to deal with right now, because it is really pretty crazy. It's crazy times. And throw into that AI, which I think is going to be extremely disruptive. I'm predicting that it's already disruptive in ways I won't go into because I think it'll take me off topic. But this is something that is new, that's different than the 60s. Right? The 60s was tumultuous, turmoil, protests, violence, all of that. And I think as a nation, we thought we'd moved out of certain things, and then come to find, oh no, we really haven't. We really haven't. They were just pushed down. And so there are cycles, and America is in a particular cycle. And just take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, focus on your stability, your mental health. And that's what I'm teaching. Like, I'm still very focused on the personal, because the political, the community starts with the personal. Okay. Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense to you. So again, if you need to leave now, the point of my video is to say to you, start your morning with something positive that you hear. I don't think it necessarily has to be something you watch, but start with either affirmations you can listen to, or somebody talking about positive things. It's very important because then you're priming your brain early in the morning and your whole day will be affected. I was finding I was getting stressed and, just spirit said to me, okay, you've got to get control of your day more in the morning. And since just the last maybe 3 or 4 days, it has made a huge difference. I listen to positive people in the morning, but specifically where they're talking about either abundance or self-worth, about how to work with your mind to manifest things like that, goddesses. Pick somebody. I don't care who they are. I don't care what they look like. I don't care what country they're from. If you're a Spanish speaker, pick somebody who speaks in Spanish, if that makes it easier for you. Like I said, I like Louise Hay. I like Reverend Ike, and they're hugely different. If you know both of them, you know they're hugely different. I also like Jack Canfield for a little bit, depending. Focus your morning, keep it positive, and then the day goes better. So now I'm going to look at your comments. Yeah. Thank you, Julie, again for saying that. I'm going to put you up. Julie is actually in my program. I hope she doesn't mind saying that. I'm very glad that you are. Have a very, very wonderful, very sweet energy. It's a small group of women. As I said, if you are interested and you missed it, it's a live program I'm teaching. It's 8 weeks. And sorry, guys, I had some Prosecco. I'm such a lightweight. I had a little bottle, because I'm like, I'm not going to buy that big bottle because it's just me. So I had a little bottle of Prosecco, which is relatively expensive because you're getting one serving. So I am actually tipsy. Anyway, the program Awaken the Divine Feminine, we're basically going to build our connection to ourselves. So there are 4 connections. The connections to ourself. We're doing self-love, self-loving things that you will have for a lifetime. Today we did Abhyanga. You can just Google it if you want and start it yourself. But we went more into depth and we practiced it. All the goddesses felt amazing. It is wonderful for your health. We're going to do 2 classes focused on grounding and self-love. Then we go to grounding into place. Many of us are not connected with our environment, and that weakens us. As I said, all of our ancestors before modern times were connected into place, meaning that river probably had a name. They knew every part of that river. They knew this mountain was holy. Oh, these type of trees blossom. We can get the walnuts now. Okay, we can get the cola nuts now. We are completely disconnected, which weakens us and makes us more vulnerable to health problems and emotional problems because we're not connected into place. So that's something I'm teaching. The 3rd connection is with like spirit animals, spirit guides. It could be a plant, right? Plant spirit connected with, and then finally with the divine feminine. And one of the women had a great question. She said, well, if I don't know all the different goddesses, or, I only know a few. And I'm like, no. This is why it is spiritual. It's not about who you know. And then you're like, oh, that's who came to me. No, what I'm teaching is how to do what's called a spiritual journey. And the archetype or that energy will be, it may be literally a goddess you haven't heard of. I know that sounds weird, but they may appear to you and tell you certain colors or tell you certain things, and you look it up and you're like, oh my gosh, this is actually like a thing that the people from Guatemala had, this goddess. I have never heard of her, but that's who came through. Okay. Like, to me, that's pretty deep. And it kind of proves there's always, when you do shamanism or working with spirit, you always feel like you're making it up. But when it's something that you literally had not heard of, you didn't know about, you wouldn't even make that up because it's so weird. Like your spirit animal is turtle, and you're like, now typically it'll be an animal you do feel like an affinity to, but you're like, oh, I would have probably chose dolphin. Right? But turtle comes and you're like, turtle? I don't know. Turtle. All right. So it's a living world. We're surrounded. The trees are alive. I mean, obviously they're alive. Like, we know that, like, oh yeah, they're alive, but they have an intelligence. Okay. The birds have an intelligence. They have a medicine, as Native Americans would say, meaning they have like a power, they have a knowledge that they bring to all of creation. So basically, I'm really trying to re-sacralize, make sacred all of life. To me, it's not so weird at all. I don't understand how many religions have removed that um, from, you know, from life. And then it leaves us feeling almost empty. Even if you have a very specific religious background, you don't feel as connected to the world when you're told it's just like, this is just it. Everything else is just inferior. So anyway, I'm going to put up your comments now. Let's see. To not worry about gaining financial freedom. Yeah. Yeah. Mom used to be a Jehovah's Witness. Julie, I have in my family, Jehovah's Witness, and yeah, it can be very, very strict. I did not consider it previously to be potentially a cult, but then I was watching something about that particular group, and you know, who decides if something is a cult or not? It serves some people for sure, makes them feel good and connected to God, and but there are definitely some people, and some, you know, there can be some abuses in various traditions, and some negatives as well as the positives. So yeah, I do have some Jehovah Witnesses in my family. Right. Yeah. Can you share more, Sharon, on that? Yeah, in terms of the, yeah, end of an age. Yeah. But again, so again, this is forecasted in different spiritual traditions. It's not just that only one knew this was going to happen. If something is a truth, it should be true across the board, or very, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like that color exists and it exists like everywhere, right? So it's expressed maybe slightly differently, but yes. So we are in a time that is, and so that should in some ways give us comfort. It's a time that is tumultuous. And again, it's the lack of almost proper structure. As I said, lack of respect for elders, lack of respect even for rules or for community. This is part of the falling apart. And you can see that in America, where it's this individualism in extremis. I think that's Latin, but I'm not sure. In extremis. I just made that up. It sounds legal. I think I saw it somewhere. Anyway. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. Right. Well, Sharon says, okay. So Sharon says, let me put that up, Sharon. Having a good morning routine does help, but can be a slippery slope for us, too dependent. Yes, I think social media is a trap. I keep hearing that young girls, and I'm talking younger than probably all of us in the chat, are, it's affecting boys differently. Girls are getting like suicidal because they're seeing all this fake crap. I mean, you can Photoshop your face. You know, it's not even Photoshop. You can just, everything can look so perfect. I mean, I could go rent, seriously. I could go rent an apartment, or a friend who has a fancy, fancy apartment, and just be like, yeah, so this is my duplex. I mean, people are lying. People are lying. And then, as we know, young girls, they're just, you know, it's just, you're more discerning when you're older. That's just the truth. So if you are really young, in your 20s, or even, I'd say 20s, I'd say 20s, just know you're going to get smarter, you're going to get more discerning. But these poor young women are seeing all this fancy fake, most of it, right? Fake. And if some of it's not, but it's not like the norm. And they're comparing their bodies, they're comparing their relationships. Oh, I'm not on the beach, my family's not perfect, they don't look like this. Social media, I'm sorry, I think is literally a disease. It's like a disease. It started off, we didn't know. And I'm sorry, AI is going to accelerate that. We're going to have to be very, very vigilant. Very, very vigilant. So Sharon, like I said, I would make a playlist. So yeah, to be more clear, make a playlist of 2 or 3 positive videos and just rotate amongst those. Okay. So it's not to get on social. I wouldn't get on social searching. No, 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 no. Because I get completely sucked in, and YouTube is social media. Don't try to fool yourself. Okay. YouTube is still, it's adjacent. It's social media adjacent. And yes, end of an empire. Thank you. Hopi prophecies. Exactly. Exactly. but also all empires fall. So I am of the type, listen, I really think I came from a nomadic people. If any of you do the blood type diet, I know this is wide ranging, just go with me. The blood type diet, oh, they're like, it's debunked, it's debunked. But yet, notice during COVID, there was a blood type that got COVID more, right? So the blood type diet, I won't say my blood type. I probably have said it before in other videos. He literally calls it, the doctor who came up with this system calls it the nomadic people. Guys, I move so much. My friends always joke when they would write in, I don't have any more space for you. You keep moving my phone book. This is when we had paper phone books, people, for you youngsters. They're like, it's full because you were there. Do you still live there? What's your phone number? I'm like, no, I don't live there. I haven't lived there for 2 years. So I have a natural nomadic, but I think many people's have that. We would move for where there was food. We'd move for where the animals were. We're going to hunt. We would move, and it's still in my blood. It's just definitely still in my blood, the nomad aspect. And it's this blood type, like I said, he's like, these are the more nomadic people. So it's pretty fascinating. So to say that empires end, they have always ended though, historically. Great empires would rise. They'd have a time of flourishing, and then they would fall, right? And then there can be a little dark period, a little confusion. Then another empire will rise. That's not unusual. So that doesn't trouble me. What I hope for you, those of you watching this, is that and I'm telling all my friends, just be aware. Where do you physically want to be? Where does spirit want you to be? For instance, where I am now, for most things has been very, very good for me, for things like safety. We have a tremendous amount of water. Like we've got, like where I live, there is so much water. Water is going to, as you already know, water is going to become very, very crucial. I literally was led to move to this place, and I listened, and I do love it. Now, it's not great for some things, but some of that I could have manifested, but I didn't want to, or for my own karmic reasons, didn't manifest. Okay, so listen to spirit. All right, even though I'm talking about the morning routine, listen to spirit. When you start with a good morning routine and you meditate, you're going to be able to hear what's the right thing for you to do. And that's really what I'm teaching in Awaken the Divine Feminine. It's to strengthen women, to get them to feel connected and grounded, and then to feel they have a direct access to answers for questions they have, or like what to do, where should I be? Is this okay? I want to meet a partner now. All right, I'm ready for a relationship. What do I do? And with what I'm teaching, you can get insights. Okay, so if you are interested in Awaken the Divine Feminine still, because I feel like there's 1 or 2 people who actively are interested who miss the deadline. You could reach out to me and get registered and watch the first class. But after that, I'm not going to leave it open, because we need it to be a community and people need to know each other. Okay, right now we're 5 people, so it's small, 5 women. But yeah, the Hopi prophecies, end of empire. The universe galaxy. Hi, you're new to me. Okay. And clearly you're a vegan and you care very much. I would think you're a vegan. You care very much, because I'm looking at your next comment. So I have a question for you though. Do you go around to different channels and just ask them these questions? I'm curious. I like your logic that if something is true, it should be across the board. So you agree it's wrong to torture and kill dogs, cats, hamsters, and other animals. I do. I do. But everything has some nuance to it. So I see how you're leading up, and I'll put up your next question. The Universe Galaxy NBA. I wonder what NBA stands for. So do you buy products that come from an animal? If so, you're giving your money to a place that tortures and kills animals. So isn't that a contradiction? Okay. Well, a couple of things. That would be, absolutely. So the Universe Galaxy, are you perfect in all? First of all, this isn't what I'm talking about. So clearly it's something that's very important for you. And I want to honor that. It's clearly something that's very important for you, or you wouldn't have typed this long unless you have it pre-typed. You may be someone that has this pre-typed. I don't know. But yeah, I am mostly, but not exclusively vegan. I have things, yeah, I haven't gotten to the point of the shoes and the this and the that. In fact, I'm not ashamed to share with you watching. I buy most of my things reused, like this blouse that I was just showing. Um, I got, and I love it, and I got it, you know, secondhand. I love secondhand shopping for a variety of reasons. But yeah, um, I am mostly vegetarian and then like 95% vegetarian and mostly vegan, though not exclusively yet, but I'm working on that. That's something I have chosen, not because you're on here goading me and talking about torture and killing animals and sort of on that platform. I think it's great. And I hope that you are living your life perfectly because it sounds like that is what you expect, the universe, galaxy, NBA. Let me get some comments from others. What do you think about what the universe, galaxy, NBA is sharing? So to your note, yeah, I am not ashamed that I have bought shoes from my favorite secondhand store, and they're leather shoes. To me, it just, they already exist, the leather shoes. They're good quality. I get them at a discount, and I'm not contributing to the generation of more in that way. So yeah, I just make the choices that work for me and the best I can, for sure. Yeah. But in terms of eating animal flesh, I literally have meat about twice a month, literally twice a month. Um, I'm trying to think in terms of, I am never going to give up honey. I love honey. I don't count gathering honey. What do you guys think? Like, would you give up honey? I'm not going to give up honey. I don't consider honey to be torturing animals. Um, and I believe that honey is such a perfect food. So yeah, like I eat honey. Um, but yeah, I definitely wear leather. Um, but everything I buy is secondhand because I love the hunt. I love the hunt. For me, finding something like, I'm not going to run into someone with this top. Very unlikely, right? I'm not going to run into like this basket where I keep my cards was woven. I don't know if in Africa, but I got it from my health food store. So I do try to support um, small, local, and where I live, local is everything. I joke like about somebody will show me something. I'm like, oh, I hope that was local because we're like obsessed in the area that I live with local. And again, that has to do with using less resources, supporting my money goes to the community. Also, where I shop, it benefits abused women and women who are basically, yeah, like running from abuse with their children. So that's where I shop for my clothes and stuff. So let me see. Now, who would like Black Flourishing and Free? Are you here, Julie? I'd love your opinions, you guys. And I also, I do, and also for health, I really do think it is healthier to eat more plant-based. I'm not convinced that everybody can, but let me know what you guys think about what I was just talking about and the universe galaxy's comments. And remember, it takes a couple minutes for it to come through. It takes a couple minutes. Thank you. Thank you, Black Flourishing and Free. Let's see. I'm vegan. Beautiful. That's see, because yeah, you have a healthy vibe. I can feel it. I can look at somebody's photo and get a vibe from them, from like a still photo. In fact, sometimes that's better than seeing a video. But yeah, so you're vegan, but you don't feel that everyone should live to my standard. People should try to do the best they can from where they are and make the improvements that they can. And I agree with that because that starts people. If you try to shame people, um, into a particular type of lifestyle, what do you think human nature is? We can see it in the world. Human nature is often to rebel. Remember, you guys, when Michelle Obama was talking about eating healthy? I started a blog before that. I did not even know she was into this. So this is years ago now, right? Spirit's like, start this blog, especially to encourage Black people to garden and around food. And literally, it was before she started like that White House garden, and she's out there literally gardening. And it could have been a great thing. But my heart was, I was kind of like, then if you remember, I know you guys do, Michelle Obama started to get like some right wing folks were furious at her, like, don't tell me what I should eat. This is a free country. This like rage. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the universe galaxy, and I'm not even sure you're here. I feel like you popped in, wanted to make a comment, and left, which is disrespectful. Number one, you didn't even really stay. And if you did, then let me know, because I did respond to your question in a reasonable manner. Yeah, they dumped on her when clearly we've got obesity off the charts. We've got, well, really, we should look at the food companies. Number one, that's another thing, right? But was she going to be able to do that? Probably not. To go up against Nabisco and tell them to start taking out these ingredients. No, right? So yes, I do believe plant-based. I've done a lot of research, and also just for my body, not really working well with heavy meat foods, and even when it's a high quality. But to your point, yes, when you encourage people, but you don't try to shame them, you don't try to force them, you don't guilt them, and you don't rage at them, which some vegans do, that's, I don't think, is appropriate, even given that the ramifications. I still think raging at people, it doesn't work. So I'm with you, Black Flourishing and Free. Absolutely. So I feel like I'm on a road towards being a vegan, but if ever my body is like, and I live in a place where they literally do have grass, like the cow is in the fields. It's not even pretend. I literally have small farms where I am, where you can meet the people. They got the dirt under their fingernails. They look sunburnt. They're clearly, they're raising the stuff. My body doesn't tend to do well with a lot of meat. So I've noticed it as I've gotten older. And Spirit is also like, lighten it, make it cleaner, lighten it, lighten it. You don't need that. Okay. I think a lot of it is vibrational. I do think some people, the meat is giving them a certain personality. Absolutely. I know this, right? But they can't necessarily shift, because they're not in a place in their mind, in their karmic, whatever. It's a complicated topic, actually. That might be a separate video. It would be controversial. I think some people can be vegan, not just because of their body composition and their beliefs, but I think it's a spiritual thing. Some people can eat lighter and extract and feel very good and feel elevated, and some people are just not at that point yet. That's what I feel. That's what I have observed. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. Vegetarian, but would love to be vegan. Yeah. And for me, I was vegetarian for years, guys. I was vegetarian, then went back to eating meat. The vegans are like, well, the dairy is the most addictive thing. And it's, and certainly mass dairy is really disturbing. I had a good friend, and her husband was like the dairy inspector for a certain region. And I think it was him who said, if you saw what blood, if you saw what milk looked like before it was purified, you wouldn't drink it. You saw, and I just did like a Freudian slip. I'm pretty sure he was talking about like pus and blood in the milk. Again, these are the mass dairies where they're just, the cow constantly is giving milk, which is, again, not natural. The cow is not supposed to have milk all the time. Anyway, so you see what I'm saying? It's nuanced, but yeah, that mass milk supply in the West, is, it's just not what our ancestors were drinking. It's just not. Because that scale wasn't there. The industrialization wasn't there. The hormones weren't there. The cows weren't being bulked up. So it's very tricky. A lot of it is like what may have worked for our ancestors, and they were eating wild meats a lot, like depending how far back you're going, we just don't have that. We don't have the purity. We have the mass industrialized chemical complex that makes our food. So I think that also affects what you should eat, right? Maybe you can't eat that beef because that beef is not like what beef was 500 years ago, okay? Or what it is maybe in Argentina when the cows really do just eat grass, okay? And then they're slaughtered, which is horrible, and but it's still a different level. So you guys know what I'm saying. It's you can't just make a blanket statement because we live in different times. But no, Julie, that's great. I think that's great. And if you feel healthy there and you experiment with it. So I'm going to pull some cards. I'm going to pull some cards. I didn't do for today's June 2nd. Predict, like sort of predictions for the month. Like I said some years ago, when I pulled cards about if Trump was going to win, the card said he was, and I still didn't believe it, and he did. So I've been afraid to pull any cards because I kind of just don't want to know. So I've got all my cards here. I will pull some cards. If you have a question, and we just went on this because of the Universe Galaxy NBA, who, as I said, probably went on to some other channel, was just passing through, was not even a channel member or subscriber or even really cared. Some people are very much on their cause, their topic. And like I said, I do think it's important, and I do believe most people should eat much less meat. The world would change in so many positive ways if most people ate less meat, because I don't think we need half as much meat as we eat in the US specifically. We just don't. We eat, that in another country, our steak would serve like 4 people, like a normal, like what we consider a normal size steak, and people don't like that though. People don't like to be told what they should or shouldn't do. And especially in America, that's not our vibe. Our vibe is I can do what I want, that free country, doesn't matter how it affects other people, right? That's just how we are. So who would like a reading? You're going to start your morning tomorrow. You're going to find some videos of people you like. Marissa Peer. Let me put some people in the chat. Marissa Peer. She has some videos that are sort of a mix between affirmations and just her hypnotizing. She's a professional, like certified hypnotherapist. So I like Marissa Peer. I also like Bob Proctor. Like I said, he's an old guy, but was been in that business for decades. Brought himself up from nothing. I like, there's just a lot of inspirational speakers. I like Reverend Ike, but that's just for certain people. Because he's funny. He's got his hair slicked back, and he was a handsome guy, and he was just like kind of sassy. He was a minister, but he was a little bit like, because a lot of Black ministers, I think, didn't like him, but he was hugely popular. But I like him. Anything, Neville, and there's a book coming out, and I'm going to see if I can interview her. She is also sort of a coach, and she talks also about goddesses and the divine feminine, which is how we connected on YouTube. Her name is Abiola. I believe her last name is Abrams, and she has a new book out about the man who inspired Neville. I don't know if she was able to find more about him, and she wrote a book about him, Abdullah, because there is mention that he got a lot of this like new thought stuff from a man named Abdullah. And there's like one image circulating of this Abdullah. And so Abiola, who's here on YouTube, you can check her out. I think she's written a book about him. So look for anybody who you find positive and share in the chat, because I'd like to know some news. So Julie in Black Flourishing, Sharon, do you have some positive speakers that you like? There's also a woman that I'm blocking her name. Because again, to be really honest with you guys, when I was flourishing the most, when I was younger, I was almost naturally woo-woo. I remember saying to a dear friend, and I've shared this before, she passed away, and I was trying to convince her that her thoughts were co-creating her reality. And she says, no, these things work for you. She said, I'll never forget it because that really hurt me. She goes, this stuff works for you, but it doesn't work for me. And I'm like, have you tried it? And I meant things like affirmations. I told her, for example, this dear friend I'm talking about, she was unhappy where she was. She ended up dying young, not at a ripe old age. And I said, envision where you want to be. And she wouldn't do it. So you can't tell me it doesn't work when you don't try it. Okay. So a lot of this law of attraction is not just law of attraction, new thought. I would call it new age, but it isn't new age. It is ancient techniques of working with reality, probably going back to the ancient Egyptians. A lot of it, and I'm not going off topic here, do this for your morning, is envisioning what you want. That's a huge part of this creation. And that's why I'm going back to when I was younger, magical shit would happen for me. I mean, I could tell you. And that's why my best friend, this woman who passed, she's like, it works for you, doesn't work for me. Again, she wasn't doing it because she didn't believe it. And I remember saying to her, you have to believe. So Goddess is watching, whether in the replay, what you want to manifest, you have to believe. So in the morning, with this morning routine, listen to somebody positive. And I'd love to know, love to know who you listen to, who's like a positive speaker, mindset, affirmations. Who do you like? Share some new people. Affirmation, a powerful part of, yeah. And then getting relaxed, because this is what I see missing, Black Flourishing. Those who say they don't work, what it is we have the conscious mind and we have the subconscious. The conscious mind is like a security guard. The conscious mind is like, you can't come in. We have lived, say you're 40 years old, you've lived to 40. So your conscious mind is like, whatever we did got us to here. We're not doing anything new because we know this allows us to live. So your stuff, we don't want to hear it. So you need to get to the subconscious, as I'm sure you know, Black Flourishing. But I'm sharing this for many people who, and to remind myself, you have to be relaxed enough that that guard, that conscious mind will let the stuff in. So say, like my parents would always say to me, oh, there's not enough money. They would argue about money. So if I go and I try to put in a prosperity affirmation, the conscious mind is like, nope, we don't believe that. We don't believe that there's always enough money or there's always more money. I actually put on my phone and I love it. I love it. I guess there's nothing personal on here. It just says, see what it says? There's always more money because how many multiples of trillions of dollars floating around this planet? There's enough wealth on this planet. There's enough actual money that may not be distributed the way you would like, but the money itself is available, right? So what I'm just saying is here with your morning routine is you have to do some relaxation, change your state a little bit so that that security guard of the conscious mind like opens the gates, right? So that the new stuff can come in. So whether you're listening to, and so, yeah, do you listen to my affirmations and whose affirmations do you like, Black Flourishing? I'd love to know. Whose affirmations are you listening to? And then let me just check the time. Okay. So my plan is still to get to Italy as soon as I have a passport. I feel like people are probably like, I'm faking. I'm not faking it. I showed you the letter. It is like crazy. So 10 to 14 weeks, but I'm going to work on energetically seeing if I can get that to be sooner. And I might have mentioned it. I don't know how much I revealed previously, but I am working on having dual passports. So whichever passport comes through first, so be it. That is how I will travel. All right. And I'm taking you guys with me when I travel. Absolutely. I am nervous about traveling internationally because I've never done it alone. I did it with my best buddy when I went to Italy. I went twice and I went with him. and he's the one who passed away. So I am nervous about traveling by myself. And the thing is, I don't want to try to travel with a friend because none of my friends um, specifically want to go to Italy or are in the place where they would do that. And I am not, and I urge all of you, I don't think we should wait. You know, whether you're young or older, I just think if you feel an urge to do something, just, just do it. Do it. Um, so yeah, so it looks like I will have to travel by myself. And of course, there are positives to that as well. Oh, let's see. You make them up. Okay, absolutely. Those are the best. Those are the best because you know what specifically is holding you back, and then you can flip it. So I do that too, Black Flourishing and Free. I like my own affirmations. What I'm talking about in terms of listening to videos, though, is just hear people talking positively. I'll listen to that, but I like to also, just like you, I like to make my own affirmations. Because for example, my dad would say, "You don't understand money." And he said it like dead serious. And I'm like 12. I'm like, yeah, I really don't understand money. I mean, could you teach me? So my affirmation, because that's what I would hear, I know that I need to say something like, every day I'm understanding money more and more. Because one thing with affirmations, and I've shared this with you goddesses, sometimes if you make an affirmation that's too opposite, you won't believe it and you'll set up a conflict. That's why I'll say an affirmation like more and more or better and better, because that's harder to refute. Like if you're dirt poor and you start saying, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I would tone it down just a little bit to where, you see what I'm saying? Like your mind can like, yeah, no, that's possible. And then amp it up, if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense in the chat. And put my lights back on. So yes, traveling alone is amazing. Oh, good. I need to hear this. I moved abroad. Oh, you do Black Flourishing. Good for you, goddess. So you must watch Black Sit Global and Picky Girl Travels the World, and her name's not Sharda. She's always in yellow. Yellow is her signature color. She lives in Mexico City. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy for you. I wish I wanted to move to Mexico, but Mexico has recently upped its financial requirements, but that literally isn't it. I'm not drawn to Mexico. It's right next door. You guys are raving about Mexico City and Merida, and there's the other town I had wanted to look into, San Miguel Allende, because I'm an artist. San Miguel Allende. But I'm just not feeling Mexico. My heart is in Italy and the bureaucracy and the craziness of Italy. Notorious around the world. Yeah, Rashida. Thank you, Rashida Dow. Yes. In fact, one of them is going to go live soon. So I'm actually going to go off so I can watch them. Yes. You should be interviewed. Black Flourishing, have you been interviewed already? I'm really curious. And of course, Stephanie Perry. Stephanie is like the godmother of the movement. But I'm going to pull a card for you, Black Flourishing. You didn't ask me to. I'm just going to pull an angel card for you. So it's like the supportive energy that we can draw on. So it's very positive. Yeah, Rashida. Now, Rashida was a lawyer. And she's, managed her finances with her income to be able to move to Mexico City. Oh, okay, good for you. Awesome. You have videos about travel on your channel. Awesome. Just so you know, I do coach on growing YouTube channels. Specifically, if you reach out to me, I think I have a freebie on it. But guys, check her out if you're interested in Mexico. Black Flourishing and Free. All right, I'm going to pull a card for you. Yes, Rashida. I love Rashida when she's complaining because she's like the best complainer. When she complains, she gives such detail, and you're like, "What is openness?" Okay, that's the card for you. Openness. So the angel is like this. Openness. That's the angelic energy that's wanting to flow more and is there for you. It's more openness, whether I guess to ideas. Let me know if that resonates for you, because I do that also. I do reading. So I'm going to pull another card. Who would like a card draw? And let me go back and through. Yeah, and let me know, Black Flourishing, if that openness resonates for you. Who would like a card drawn? Julie. I'm going to pull something for you. Yeah? Okay, good. I love the sparkling heart. Julie, I'm pulling for you. Support. Julie, you got support. So let me see. Yeah, you got support. Now, this card always confuses me just a little, because are you the angel giving support or are you receiving support? I tend to take it as needing support or look for where you can get support, but I'm curious, does that resonate with you, Julie? And I love it. The one angel is giving the other one, like, step up, and she's going to help boot them over the wall. So support. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sure. Hi, Kara. I absolutely will. So, Julie, let me know if support resonates with you. Are you feeling like you need support? Or Spirit might be saying you could offer support to someone. But typically, when I pull that little angel card, it's that the person is needing support in their life. So, all right. Hi, Kara. Kara, are you just coming in? You're usually the person giving support. That's interesting. Now, do you think that it's saying to you that you may need support then? Because as we all know, as women, sometimes when we're always giving, we reach a point where we can't give anymore. So, Julie, yeah. Support is there for you. All right, I'm going to turn off my super bright light. Hang on. I think it'll still be fine. Yeah, we're just going to go with natural light. I have an overhead skylight, and so it casts like a downlight that I don't love. So I'm going to move back a little bit. So it gives me like shadows that I don't like. All right, I'm going to pull two more. So Julie says she's usually the one giving support. So Kara, yes. Oh yeah, Kara, I'm trying to do Sundays live, usually sometime between 2 and 4. And I am just winding up, but I'll absolutely pull a card for you. I don't know why I'm getting hot now. Probably because I've been talking for so long. Believe it or not, talking does build heat in the body. Adventure. Kara, you got the card of adventure. You need to set out on some sort of adventure. Is it hiking? Is it a new relationship? What is the adventure you need to start out on? I bet you already know. I feel like you know what the adventure is. So I'm going to wait for Kara to share. But Julie says, yeah. I definitely want to be the one supported sometimes. The weight of it all is draining. Yeah, no, I think then that's what Spirit is saying is you need support because you give so much support. And I think, being in the program will definitely help you because we're going to figure that out. If that's something that is an issue for you, then you can focus on that in our program. Yeah. So Kara, adventure. What's the adventure? Is it travel? Because I always think of adventure. I do think of travel or doing new things, right? Doing something new, going someplace new. You could do something new in your place too, but okay, let's see what Kara says. Wow, I love it. She says, oh wow, okay. Feeling like I need a break and to relax, but I'm also very excited for an adventure as long as it's a positive one. I think the card, yeah, I don't get a negative vibe with that. Adventure is something new. What could you do, Kara, that's new and fresh, that's out of your routine? Yeah, you're feeling like you need a break. Maybe it's Dominican Republic. I don't know. Maybe it's Mexico. Maybe it's some beach near you and a weekend away, a weekend getaway. Maybe it's Florida. not my, not my favorite state. I just have issues. I'm a New Yorker, so I just have issues. I know a lot of New Yorkers are in Florida. Don't get me started. I just joke. I have a friend. We just joke about Florida man. Florida man does what he wants when he wants, you know. So adventure is your advice, Cara. Okay, I'm going to put your card back in. I think I saw one more person. All right. No, you know what? I'm going to end it here because I think that one of my sort of compatriots is live, I think at 3 or 3:30. And I taught for an hour, almost an hour and a half. I was so excited. I had a little Prosecco, and then I've been live for like an hour. So you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. Trust me. I mean, I'm very intuitive. I'm very intuitive. So there's some need of an adventure. It could be something small. When I was growing up, there was a theme park called Great Adventure. So spirit sometimes can be punny. Maybe it's just like something really silly and the stupid water slides and just a half a day doing like dumb stuff, that's fun. And you come back refreshed, Cara. Oh, you're welcome, Black Flourishing. And really good luck with your channel. I'm going to check out your channel. I'm definitely going to check out your channel. Oh, and Julie, yeah, it's so nice to meet you. It's so nice sometimes to see the face, the actual person, behind like the lives and stuff. So, and I do need a little more light, but it was too hot. It was that was like, it's like a sunlight lamp. It was just too hot. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. I have something I have to finish up before I have to go to do with this passport stuff. So I'm really working hard on that. I finished one thing I needed to do, but I have another little project I need to do relative to, and I guess I'll announce it when it comes through. But like I said, I'm working on dual passports. And so there's a lot of paperwork and stuff I need to do. So I'm going to do some of that later today. But you are welcome. So just walk in beauty. Walk in beauty. I'm sending you love and blessings all. Mwah. Ciao. And I'll have a video on Thursday. I try to have a recorded one on Thursday and then a live. Oh, yeah, Cara. It's moving forward. Like I said, you came in late here because I got to hide all the personal stuff. But I got this from my consulate saying 10 to 14 weeks. They finally approved what I sent in, which is why my hair is dyed. Long story. Go back to the beginning if you care. And then I'm also working with America and then Jamaica, and hopefully those will be my two passports. Check out Nomad Capitalist. Before you go, you guys, I just think he's so funny. I don't know. I like all different kinds of people, and I just find him so quirky and weird. He's got like a little tick or something. And he's this very sort of, I don't know. In Jamaica, we'd say squinchy. He's like this slightly effeminate guy, but not really. But so that's what, like, he's not a metrosexual. He's not gay. He's like just this sort of guy who's like a nomad capitalist, and he talks about multiple passports. And so he's fun if you're at all interested in it. And he does try to scare people because that's how he gets more business for his company. His company helps high net worth people, if you've got $1 million or more. But I watch him and I do learn a lot. But yeah, he's just a hoot. I just find him funny. Like I said, he's got like the squint, which makes him more cute to me because I'm like, you're so weird. He's not like this, like, alpha, comes off like alpha male with like a strong jaw or like super macho. He's not, but he's like, go where you're treated best. So check out his channel, just because I think if you're at all interested in passports and travel, he does give some good advice, even though he says he only works with people with $1 million net worth. But anyway, ciao. I'll see you later.